Hello! It's Andy again from the Egocast channel, and I'm back and better than ever. Right! So, I was checking through the news today, and I came across this video, and I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of sad. A lot of good points were raised. A lot of silly points were raised. And we're going to examine this topic thoroughly. Before we begin, I would like to say thank you to a buddy of mine who made this video not really possible, but helped me to understand that I actually had a basis for my argument. He didn't want to be mentioned by name, and I totally respect that. You know who you are if you are watching, and thank you very much. Now, let's do this!
Williams is one of the most accomplished champions in the history of tennis. And the numbers speak for themselves. 71 singles titles, 22 Grand Slam titles, tied with Steffi Graf for the most in the Open era, and 2 behind Margaret Court's record 24. She's won 775 total matches, won with an 86% winning percentage. Dominance. But if she were a white man, would she be considered the greatest athlete of all time?
Well, alright then. Let's look at their numbers. 71 singles titles. Alright, now. Alright, so 71 singles titles. I got this from Wikipedia. This is the list of tennis players with most titles in the Open era. Open era, for those of you who don't know, and this is what my buddy helped me out with. I didn't know what the Open era is. I thought that it was like akin to like when black players were allowed to play baseball, that change in era. I thought it was kind of like that, but with women. I didn't know what the Open era meant, but apparently what the Open era meant was that Grand Slam championships, like the major kind of championships, not like there was professional and there was amateur. It was kind of like sports and the Olympics were, decades ago, where only amateurs could compete. And in like Grand Slam tournaments, only amateurs could compete. You weren't allowed to have professionals. So the Open era happened in the 60s, 61, I think it was. And what it was they allowed, Open era began in 1968. There you go. It allowed for professionals to compete in those tournaments. So anybody who won Grand Slam tournaments before 1968, they were competing against amateurs. So they were the best amateurs. They weren't the best overall. Since 1968, professionals compete, so now it's kind of like a best overall type of tournament. That's what the Open era is. Short history. Singles championships. You got Martina Navratilova there with 168. That's a lot more than Serena Williams. 157, 92, 107. There's Serena at 71. And that looks like that's it. So she's not even the best amongst women with singles titles. So there's that. So next. 22 Grand Slam titles. Alright. Grand Slam titles. Where was that? Okay. So, Grand Slam titles. The best man has 17. So she is better than the men as far as Grand Slam titles. That cannot be denied. But she is tied for second place with Steffi Graf. So she's not even the best of the females. She's one of the best, but not the best. And Margaret Court has 24, but she has wins rating from before the Open era. So she was playing against amateurs when she won, I don't know how many, but I'm sure at least some of those titles. So best in the world, not really. Best of the amateurs, yes. So there's that asterisk next to her, but she's still not the best even amongst the women, but she is better than the men. Give her that. 775 total match victory. Total match victories, 775. So here's the list of total match victories. Jimmy Connors, he has 1256. Roger Federer, 1,000. Ivan Lendl, 1068. So she would be, with 775, she would be one game underneath 9th place. So she would be 10th place overall amongst men. So, there's that. 86% career winning percentage. Now, this one was kind of tricky. I couldn't really find that, but I found this Ask a Question page. Among men's singles tennis player, who has the best win percentage with respect to Grand Slams? So, I couldn't find, like, career win percentages, but this reply says that it covered more than 42 Grand Slams, and that there was a minimum of 30 wins. So I figured that's fair. Serena Williams has 22 Grand Slam wins, so minimum of 30 wins during the course of 42. I mean, that it's only Grand Slams. It's not overall. It's not a career thing. So take this for what it is. But it was the best I could find, and 86%. For her career wins, this dude, Andre Agassi, has 90%, 89, 86. And that's in the Australian Open and the French Open, 97, 96, 83. Like, take these numbers for what they are. Wimbledon, US Open, you got those. Take them for what they are. I don't really know what to say about that. I think that the other three kind of being pretty well debunked makes this point essentially moot, but it's the information I was able to find. I'm sorry I couldn't find better information. But yeah, is she the best overall? No, she isn't. Her numbers don't play out. So what's going on here?
Williams thinks so. In an interview with rapper Common for ESPN's The Undefeated, Williams says in part, quote, "I think if I were a man, I would have been in that conversation a long time ago. I think being a woman is just a whole new set of problems from society that you have to deal with, as well as being black. So it's a lot to deal with, and especially lately. Women make up so much of this world, and yeah, if I were a man, I would have 100% been considered the greatest ever a long time ago."
And see, that's kind of silly to say, because she's not even considered the best woman overall with all of her stats. And she's certainly not the best out of the men, because she has 500 less career wins than the guy who has the most. So, I mean, she's in 10th place in that category. I don't know where she ranks amongst women. I didn't bother to look at that, because the question is she best overall? And a long time ago, she would have 100% been considered the greatest ever a long time ago. A long time ago, she would have had a lot less wins. She would have had a lot less numbers. And she doesn't play out with people who have been retired for decades. So, I mean, she's still playing. Could she pull out another 500 plus wins? I don't know. I don't know how old she is, and I don't know how much that matters in tennis. Golf, it doesn't matter. Very old people play golf, and very old people are very good at golf. I would imagine that tennis isn't that kind of a thing. It's a lot more active. I don't know how much longer of a career she's going to have. Could she be the best overall? Sure. Is she now? No. Was she a long time ago? No.
Williams is owning it too. She recalls growing up in Compton, California with sister Venus, who has 7 Grand Slam titles of her own, having to earn everything they have achieved while overcoming numerous cultural challenges throughout their lives.
And that is an amazing message. Overcoming difficulty and coming out close to the top. That's great. That's a really good message. Do your best. Be the best you can possibly be.
To emerge atop a predominantly white sport. "I shouldn't have to apologize for saying and believing that I could be the best," said Williams.
And she shouldn't. And if anybody's saying that she should, they're silly. She should never apologize for trying to be the best. That should be what everybody's trying to be.
"We took the globe and shook it. We came from nothing, and in tennis, you kinda have to have something.
Great message!
We came and we conquered. In an open letter as part of Porter Magazine's Incredible Women of 2016 issue, Williams addressed the barriers of race and gender that she has faced throughout her career. We are constantly reminded we are not men, as if it is a flaw. People call me one of the world's greatest female athletes. Do they say LeBron is one of the world's best male athletes? Is Tiger? Federer? Why not?
Well, to answer your question, LeBron and Tiger and Federer are among the best athletes to play in their sports. You are one of the best female athletes to play in the sport. You are not one of the best athletes to play in the sport. That's the difference. There isn't a woman basketball player that has numbers that can come even close to LeBron's. There isn't a woman golfer that has numbers that can come even close to Tiger Woods. And your numbers are not, I don't know. I didn't really look at specific people. I'm not going to go back through it now, but Federer, I think Federer is a tennis player. But if he's so great, it's probably because he is great amongst the men. And you don't have numbers that are as great as the men. In Grand Slam titles, yeah, you're crushing it. Good job. But that alone, when you're so far off in all the other areas, that doesn't make you one of the best in the world. It makes you one of the best females. It's true.
They are certainly not female. We should never let this go unchallenged. We should always be judged by our achievements, not by our gender.
Great message. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And that's what's being done.
Williams' appearance is often the target of sexist body shaming in the bowels of the internet as well.
And that's sad. That's just... When people do that, it doesn't help anything. It just is stupid. It's... I hate that shit.
There was a time when I didn't feel incredibly comfortable about my body because I felt like I was too strong. I had to take a second and think, who says I'm too strong? This body has enabled me to be the greatest player that I can be. I totally embrace who I am and what I am.
Great message! If somebody tells you you're not good enough, fuck them! That's awesome! This whole thing disappointed me because it's... There's such great messages in there. Overcome, rise up, try to be the best. Do the best you can. Work hard. Just if anybody wants to criticize you for stupid things like, oh, you look really big. It's because I work out every day, motherfucker. But when you see those messages, those really good messages in this horseshit of... I would have been considered the best in the world a long time ago if I was a man. You would not have. You would have been playing against a much broader range of opponents. You would have had to adapted to a much broader range of play styles. You would have had to have played against people who would be stronger than you, possibly, might be quicker than you. There's so many different variables of if you were a man. If you were a man, you might only be in the top 50 in your career. Your entire career would have been different. You might be better. If you were a man, you might be 100 times better than you are now. There's that to think of. You would be naturally stronger just on a don't shoot physical fucking basis. It's just fact. Men have more muscle mass. We have testosterone. These things make a difference. She could be 100 times better than she is. She might technically be completely right if she was a man, but at the same time, if she was a man, she could be completely wrong. She might not have been able to get out of amateur status. Who knows? So, it's such a silly thing to make these kind of observations. And to have Fox News give it enough credence to play it on the air, like, it's just silly. And it's so easy to just Google these stats. But it's another one of those, if you do that, now I'm sexist and racist, and no, sorry to tell you that's not true either. I'm a realist. You know, like, the numbers are there. We looked at them. You could go back to it and look at it all over again if you want to. She isn't the best in the world. So, can she be? Absolutely. Should she make a run for it? Hell yeah. Don't let anything keep you back. Great message. But let's be a little honest here. You don't deserve to be called one of the greatest ever to play this sport. Not like LeBron. Not like Tiger. I'm sorry. My bad. But I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please leave them in the comments section. And check out my Patreon and all the other stuff, Facebook and whatnot. And have a good day. Bye-bye.